Hey folks, good morning. Troy Dooley's Morning Coffee Reflections. And I honestly am sitting here this morning drinking some coffee. I've already been out. We've had a great morning to say the least. It's been fun. But now I'm sitting here going over. And I'm going to redo what I talked about yesterday because we had reset some of the controls and I had the microphone turned off. But you'll see by the title of today's little chat that the question comes up, and Pastor Eric, my pastor at Shoreline Church here in Destin, brought this up on Sunday. He said, is it sin or is it a mistake? And the more I thought about that, and him and I have had this conversation a couple of times, I got to realizing that we don't call anything sin anymore. What we do is we say they made a mistake. I can remember when Paige and I got married, we were told don't have sex before marriage. That's a sin. And I'm thinking, okay, I never hear that anymore. As a matter of fact, I think when my youngest, Dalton, came to me and said, Dad, Heather's pregnant, I said, oh, man, And he said it was a mistake. And it's like, it wasn't a mistake. It was a sin. Now, there's a great grandbaby out of it. I wouldn't trade that for $1 million. But then when his older brother came to me and said, Alicia's pregnant. Okay, that was a sin. That was marriage. That was sex before marriage. And so as I listened to what Eric was saying on Sunday, I thought, man, we do. We say, oh, those kids made a mistake. Oh, I thought she was protected. Oh, I thought he was wearing protection. Oh, see, it was a mistake. Okay, if it's a mistake, stop doing it. If it's not a mistake, then it's probably sin, and we just continue to do it because it's a habit. It makes us feel good. We like it. I don't care what it is. It can be, excuse me, sex addictions, gambling, drinking, smoking, chatting on the internet, going to adult websites, going to social sites. And the sad thing is, we make excuses for our own actions. And I think this is a society thing. There's a blurry line between the word Christian and the word secular anymore. Everybody seems to want to be a Christian unless they just want shock value, and then they'll tell you I'm an agnostic or I'm an atheist or I'm a progressive or I'm a, whatever. And I just, the more Eric got into this, the more I thought, he's right. We don't use the word sin. You don't go around in society saying, hey, are you a single mom? Yeah, I'm pregnant. I'm having my first baby, but there's no dad. You don't say, oh, man, was it fun sinning? We don't do that. Now, I'm not saying judge people either. You all know my background. I'm not doing that. But it did cause me to realize we've really watered down things. If you look at history, there was definitely a division between what was acceptable and what wasn't acceptable. I can think back in the 70s, and I knew exactly where the red light district was in our town. It was 12th and Vine, and it was a whole block long. And before you know it, it was a mafia war. They blew up a bunch of the buildings, and then the next thing you know, a big hotel's built. Nowadays, you go down the road, and they're called gentlemen's clubs. Why, is that so ladies can show up? The more I analyze this, the more I realize it's not just in sex, it's in everything. Everything that used to be a fine line, what was acceptable or wasn't acceptable, has now become just the norm. You see shows all the time that promote sexual, just being promiscuous all the time. Nowadays we see websites called Ashley Madison or Booty Call that actually praise the fact, hey, don't get a divorce, just go get some extra. Nobody can actually think you're going to ride the same filly all your life. Just come on over here and get a little extra. And I'm thinking, what else have we watered down? Why is it that we want to be so politically correct that we don't want to stand for anything? As the country music prophet Aaron Tippin says, you've got to stand for something or you'll fall for anything. And I honestly think that's where we're at. All of a sudden, in the name of political correctness, we can't call people out and say they're a Muslim and they're a terrorist. That's not to say all Muslims are terrorists, but that is a terrorist and they're Muslim. I don't classify all Italians mafia members, but you know what? Every made person in organized crime of the Italian descent is Italian. That's just the way it is. That's what the mafia. Just like the Russian organized crime, they're all Russian. I mean, there's certain things that you have to be in order to be made. So that's just part of life. But yet political correctness says, no, we don't want to talk about that. But yet I can go to MTV and I see a whole show on all these Italians, and they're personifying an underground culture. But yet if I start calling everybody names or I say something, then that's taboo. I can't even call an illegal alien an illegal alien. They're an unlicensed immigrant. Oh, come on. See what I mean here? If it's broken the law, it's sin. And what we've got to figure out is, are we going to hell because of that? See, that's the key. And thank goodness, I mean, guys, this is my life. This is what I believe. And it comes out of Luke 15. I'm going to read this to you if I can find some glasses. I want you to hear this. Luke 15. The son said to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. And the more I thought about that, I thought, you know, this is the cool thing. Because Jesus Christ, this is my belief, you don't have to believe this, but this is how easy this is. Jesus Christ came to this earth. He walked the earth. He sacrificed his life. They killed him on a cross, and then he rose again. As soon as he died on the cross physically, that old covenant was broken. I don't live by the law anymore. I'm not held to the same standards that the ancient Hebrews were held to. Now I'm under grace because I don't deserve to go to heaven. Nobody can live that perfect life. Nobody can not sin. Sorry about that. That's the whole deal here. We are all sinners. Yeah, none of us want to be called sinners. Nobody wants our dirty baggage to be out there. But the truth of the matter is we're all alike. We've all had the wrong thoughts. We've done the wrong things. It doesn't matter if you're a male or a female. There's not a woman on here at one time or another didn't think about some stud she saw. There's not a man looking at this that didn't look at a little gal's booty or a breast just a little bit longer than they should have. There's not anybody on here that at one time or another thought, I just hate that person. We've all had something. But Christ died on the cross and said, you're forgiven. And if you just accept the fact that I'm the way to heaven, then you can live under grace. And I will be your mediator. I will take care of it with the Father. To me, that's just cool, man. So, you know, this is a little off topic because we're doing secrets that men keep, but I had to get this out. Yesterday was a flub. This meant something to me. All of a sudden I started realizing there's a difference, even the definition of mistake and a sin. Folks, live life like it's an epic adventure, and we'll see you back here tomorrow morning.